The Beef and Barnzy Show, brought to you by BowlersMart.com, trusted by bowlers around the world since 2004. By Lightning Strikes Bowl, home of Bowlers Mart Pro Shop. By Platinum Ford, drive the difference. By Fire Lake Bowling Center, 24 state-of-the-art lanes. By True Grit Coatings, drive on our passion. By Roll to Grip, king of them all. By 900 Global, striking worldwide.
Good morning and welcome back to the Beef and Barnzy Show, where I am, despite my shirt, I'm Barnzy. Just showing a little love for the unimitable beef stew. How are you this morning?
Not bad. Yeah, not bad. Yeah, I think I'm doing okay. Bowled yesterday, a little sore, but yeah, good. Yeah, my hand didn't want to cooperate. I'm really gonna have to go and see a hand specialist and stop fucking around.
Really, still.
But yes, everything else is good. Still on Team Viking. I realized that it was only Monday that we were allowed to throw it, but I'm still liking what I'm seeing out of that one.
Right.
Yeah, somewhat excited for possibilities of layouts with that one. Fascinated to see what Linda or Tina think. Bless me.
Sorry. I'll join the show soon.
Is the Viking a really good ball to get? It feels like so, yes.
Yeah,
thanks, Christian. You got my back.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I think pretty much that has been that's been a pretty consistent phrase that it's a keeper.
Yeah.
Nice bag ball, big continuation window. Yeah.
Where are you sort of positioning it? Like,
I have it a touch lower than some of you guys do as far as cleanliness, kind of where I feel like it fits in underneath the. I feel like it's a little longer right now than Equinox, but I haven't used it very much anywhere else except where I got the blue oil, where everything feels like it's tight down lane. So
yeah.
That being said, it looks good there, which I don't have a ton of balls that do, that at different times. So,
I didn't.
Yeah, I'm excited to take it this weekend. The Team USA guys that are going to Hong Kong all got together and bowled forever a couple days ago. I think 3 guys are going to take it in their bag of, 4 or 5, plus their urethane ball. Because they don't have a urethane roll, so everybody's bringing their softest one. I don't know what else you would say about it. I mean, yeah. Head in the sand. We're just going to keep letting it happen. So, all right. When the doctor says it sucks, you're screwed.
I'm actually beginning to think that I might have like more of a tear or something. So, we'll see.
It's been long enough. It's probably not like stress fracture.
Yeah, no, but it's like, it was just weird how it felt this morning. So, yeah. Dan says, having watched both videos, the Equinox appears to be earlier and smoother than the Viking. Could be due to the new ball cover stock. Yeah, I mean, for me, I just feel like the Viking hooks more. Like it just covers more boards. And maybe it is a little longer, and maybe that Equinox is just like I say, for me, I felt like the Equinox just didn't quite respond in the spot that I would have expected it to. Now, it wasn't like I had exhaustive testing of it, and the Equinox was drilled slightly stronger, and the Equinox was a little bit older, and that's why it's first look, so to speak.
Yeah, I think it's more responsive, is what I see so far. than the Equinox slightly, but it's still a ball that can blend out some things. So, but I'm going to throw it this weekend in the regional, and then I'll get a look on an older surface, which I think is where I'll shine. Ryan also said a couple of guys took surface off of them and then they hooked miles and they didn't get forward, which is always the fear when you have a fairly big asymmetrical ball that's shiny like that. And so another win so far. House X says I tried the layouts Ryan and Chris 5 done with drilling at the pin or actual pin down, but I ended up rolling with the middle finger. A couple of things. You were probably a little bit on the outside of it. And so you're a guy that tracks super, super high, in which case your drillings are going to be further up and they're going to be they're going to appear like they're way more over the ring finger or even further away. But pin down for a two-hander is basically still above the bridge.
No, Chris Vi actually drilled a ball with the pin below the fingers.
His track is actually low enough. His elbow is so far inside his track is like Ryan is now 5 over 3/4 up. His track's lower than yours is. I think Vi's is also pretty far.
And that's the thing. You got to be careful. It's a bit like why that Rico layout was the dumbest thing in the fucking world, because it's not a layout. Pin in the palm isn't a layout, because my track and Chris's track are not even remotely in the same ballpark.
No.
Like, unless
we have to use like 6-inch pin, it's not.
Yeah,
it's not usable.
Yeah, it doesn't hook. So right. Yeah, and here you go. Like you're saying, yours is way down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you're going to be closer to the finger with the track. So
yeah, your pins are just going to have to be probably on average, and I'm guessing a little bit because I don't drill his balls anymore. But probably 1.5 inches to 2 inches higher to get them away from the fingers to pull that bow tie above.
You need to get the numbers that they have and then relate them to the numbers of your of your axis point for it to make any sense at all. So yeah, I think that's one of the things that the ball industry is trying to do. Is trying to really, it's a bit why Storm have this, just the distances rather than the dual angle, because they're trying to make it a little bit more simple. So I know two-handed layouts are a little more complicated because they have a third, an extra measurement. I don't rep and I don't care, so I haven't really focused in on it, but there are plenty of videos on the 2LS system. It's not the same as just vector layout system. It isn't. So you need that extra measurement for it to make any sense. So.
Well, here on the Beef and Barnzy show, we're bringing the positivity. What do you guys think about the Cove? Please hold. Stu, go ahead.
I think that in its form out of the box, I have no use for it at all. The first one I had, it wasn't strong enough, but it was way too early for how not strong it was. So it was like a symmetrical Origin EX for me. I didn't like it at all. But once I shined it, I felt like it was the blend goat, so to speak. It was way more continuous. And yeah, that was that. Really good for blending out the wet dry for me. How do you get the sweet background? You go into StreamYard, you click background, attach. Mine is through I use an iPhone for my camera. So mine is actually the camera doing it. That's why mine is a little better than Chris's.
Mine has
Chris
a little
has
more
like a sort of like fake halo around him.
It's the only way I get one.
So yes. So that's why mine's a little better, because mine's done with the iPhone and Chris's is done through the software. Yeah. I don't know if I was being trolled by Packy then or not, to be honest. Cove, if you like a ball that hooks in the front and leaves corner pins down lane, then we have a ball for you. I mean, the thing is, right, with the Cove is a throwback ball to me, to a time that everybody seems to think existed for a long time, which was when the pros didn't like a bunch of balls that the amateurs really liked or the league bowlers really liked. And to me, it was like just nonsense because there was so few balls that like there was such a small window where the PBA didn't have enough oil that all of the pros weren't using the strong balls. That now it's just like all the balls that the pros like are almost all the highest selling balls.
Yeah, we had about a 10-year window there from when resin first came out that there wasn't as much oil in the lane as there was strength in the covers. And there's always been a battle back and forth. So there's always been a need for some lower flare balls. But once we went to bowling on the fresh only, all these other balls that used to exist on the low end don't really exist anymore. Low end balls hook a ton these days compared to what they did before. But
yeah. Chris is on a budget.
Yeah, I'm way closer to fixed income than Stu. So,
well, no, what I was about to say was this is total bullshit because Chris's phone is way newer than my phone. And all that it is, I just didn't trade this particular phone in. So I had it around. I think we missed a super chat.
Yeah, Ryan. There you go.
Hey, Ryan, how's it going? Thanks for being part of the show again.
Yeah, I have to trade my phones in to get new phones. When you have enough money, you just hang on to them. So,
well, yeah, I've got the Tom Brady thing, haven't I? Don't want the PBA to see what's on my phone. Oh shit! All fun and games.
Sheesh.
3Gs Bs. Thanks for being part of the show again. As always, love the show. Well, thank you. Picked up a used Vibo. Okay. I know it depends, but on a 43-foot house shot where I use exponent at 500, will a Vibo be a better option to start and stay in? If you're using a 500 grit exponent, I can't imagine that the Vibo would be a better option at the start if you're doing okay with the exponent, because the exponent is a medium-ish cover that's very, very smooth in my mind. And then you've made it 500. So it's going to pick up fairly early and be smooth. And the Vibo, even though it's a used one, is shiny, flares a ton and goes sideways. So those two balls, if you're doing okay with the exponent, I can't imagine a scenario where the Vibo would be better. Thoughts, Chris?
It's interesting. I mean, an exponent at 500 is kind of way more like a lower flaring
phase 2 almost.
Well, the Equinox Solid, kind of. It's not, exponent's not super strong, but it is a smoothish cover. It's an old cover.
Yeah, I mean, it's
San Antonio cover. It's not as responsive, and it's, and it's a ball that's on the medium low end.
I think the exponent was made at Storm.
Maybe.
I think it's if I was being honest, I think where it fits is I think it's an R2S type cover.
Yeah, it's down on in the medium. What's now counts as lower end. Used to be that.
Yeah, I mean, it's IQ Tour type cover. I'm not saying it's exactly the same, but it's in that family.
Right. And so for the start on the fresh, I mean, I don't know what the issues are necessarily, I guess. But Equinox Solid seems like a stronger, a bigger core version of doing what you're trying to do with the small core, with the exponent. And the Vibo is that's your transition off of it late. That should be your late version to get to when you need to get around the corner later on.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, I can't imagine a scenario, to be perfectly honest, where a Vibo would be very good on the fresh.
Yeah, Guardian.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it like
just places that really hook, lighter volume patterns and things
yeah,
like that.
but even so, like you'd need the oil to get down the
It's
lane and
they'd
like
have to be really blended house shot, which
yeah,
most house
a
shots are not
Dave
so blended.
Smallhouse shot where
Right.
they're just incredibly easy, and then he comes out and he tells you it's 7-1, and you're just like, what? Like I literally can't miss. That was the Anderson house shot where I think I
Right.
missed 3 times, and I think Andrew had more strikes than I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, Stu he's nonsense. His old phone is slightly older than my current phone, is what he means. The one that he didn't trade in 2 times ago.
No, my current phone is 2 years older than your phone.
I don't think so. I have a 14
I've
Pro.
got a 15 Pro and you've got a 17.
I got a 14 Pro.
Oh, you didn't update your phone yet?
No. Too cheap.
Why?
Because I haven't got there yet. I haven't,
Oh, I thought you were doing it. Just
oh, well,
Moneybags Ryan did it. Did you not ask Ryan?
he did not do it, as it turns out, because he is so ridiculously hard on phones and he has the insurance. And so he just got a new phone. So it didn't really make sense to go get another new phone when he has a new phone.
Well, he could have streamed off his other phone.
And he has to turn it in to get the new phone for free. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's his money. He can do whatever he wants to do now.
M5 keeps asking us about the Typhoon. For me, there needs to be a lot less oil on the lane to use the Typhoon. So the Typhoon for me is a ball that if I'm driving is definitely coming. And if I'm taking limited balls is definitely not coming. Like
it's really responsive, which makes it a touch nichey.
Yeah. Like the problem is when it doesn't work, it looks really bad for me. So that immediately in a smaller arsenal makes it just like kind of useless.
Yeah.
Ryan
can't buy his dad a phone. I guess he need to be in the top 10 for that. That's an excellent point. I'm going to use that later. Thank you.
Yeah, get onto that. Do you know how many phones I've got you over time, Ryan?
Right.
we gotta spin that thing back a little.
I like it. You guys are the best. I'm telling you. iPhone Pro is good but heavy, just like me.
Hey,
like me.
can you guys go on Ryan's next video and say, "Come on, hashtag phone for dad." just every comment be hashtag phone for dad. Oh dear God. David, how's it going? So how did Stu? So how does Stu get to stay in Texas for the Bolero meet and greet, and they send Chris to cold Minnesota?
Oh, I've done 2 or 3 of these in the past, but I always find it very odd. I've gone over to Garland, where we used to bowl the players and some of the other stuff. It's very odd to go to one of these. Attaboy. I always find it very odd to go to a meet and greet and end up seeing a bunch of people that you already see.
Yeah, it's actually easier to not. San Antonio for me was actually it's fairly nice. Well, I knew enough people that it wasn't super awkward if nobody wanted to come and get an autograph like at the start.
Mm-hmm.
But I got to meet enough people when I went through the lanes and like to be fair, they sent me to a 38 team 5-man league, which might be the biggest Bolero league in the entire country. So that was nice that there was that many people there. So obviously didn't get to see everybody, but that was there for a good 3.5 hours or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, every
What's
time
the biggest
I see
league in your areas, put it in the chat if you got something that's 40 lanes or bigger.
The only one I've seen that's significant, that's bigger than that, is Webb's league. And I think that's the biggest league in the country. That Sunday morning league, he has the 5-man, 48 teams.
What ball did you both really like and was surprised when the general public didn't agree with you both?
Oh, loads of them. Crossroads.
Well, we weren't on the show by then. That's a show that but like something we liked on here, I'm assuming. Infinite Physics was one that we were really, really big on. And it was successful, but not it didn't blow up. Like
I
we thought
think
that
they're
was
just
the best
making.
house shot ball.
But for you, like, what about Ever?
Ever. I got lots of balls.
Because like the DCT obviously wasn't particularly popular.
No. The
But you made a
EPX, I
decent
won a
amount of
lot of
money
stuff
out of it.
with, but nobody liked it.
Which one, sorry?
EPX.
Yeah. I
mean,
actually quite like that one.
You couldn't keep it together. So, I mean.
I got one that hooked Miles. It just didn't hook Miles for very long.
Well. Yeah. So, I think the respect was good at the time. The brand was just small. I mean, we sold a fair amount of them, but it was just I'd been there literally 7 days.
Yeah, I mean, if I was to go through a few just recently, I think that I really like the Absolute. I don't think that was massively popular. I guess I've come more around to really liking the Attention Star as people have stopped buying them. I really liked, going back a long time, the Second Dimension. I thought was about 1,000 times better than a High Road. Well, that worked out real well, being as the Second Dimension was probably around for about 2 years, and 17 years later was people are still drilling High Roads in the shop. So that was a good call on that one. Yeah. In general, I think I like balls that are very continuous, rounded motion. And I think that isn't necessarily always the most popular motion. I sort of term it a bit like this Equinox Solid. I think it's the motion you need, just not the motion everybody wants to buy.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Hey, I like this one. We can go back, but that should be Chris's prize for winning the Viking Challenge fair and square. That's how I see it. It's good editing. Thanks, Roddy.
So, yeah.
At Web.
I just love the fact that me and Dom would always go and watch the show. Obviously, if Dom didn't make it the week before, at Webb's place, I used to love going to Webb's place to bowl. Like, it didn't hurt that the stone balls were about 20 pins a game better than everything else, but just over time, we got to know a bunch of the people who bowled in that league. So after that league's done, everybody sits in the bar and they watch the show and they sit around and they've got the big traditional bar, and Webb sits in his seat every week, and a bunch of the guys he bowls league with give him a hard time, and they back and forth. And of course, a bunch of his teammates loved us because me and Dom would just rail on Wayne, about whatever had happened.
Sure.
And so yeah, that league is very cool. I'd actually forgot about it till the other day.
The league I went to in Garland was 50 lanes. So Norfolk 60.
It's a lot.
We use StreamYard. Can't believe Storm does it yet.
If you go
by far the easiest.
If you go on the description of one of the episodes, you'll see a link, I think.
Yeah, get you a small discount, I think, and probably helps us too a little. But
time to replace my phase 2. It's shown its age, and even after getting de-oiled, try to decide what to get: two-hander 17 or 18 off the hand 420 RPMs. I know it might be a bit boring, but I still believe the phase 2 is the best ball in that gap. I mean, you could consider getting a Rockstar. I just don't think it's as good as the phase 2.
Brian uses the Optum Idol in that space.
Yeah.
And I think that's very much a two-handed option.
Yes.
It's a little too smooth for us, but if you're if your thing is you crave control, because that's a pretty good. Well, there you go. Yeah, I mean it's been good for 10 years for a reason. So
Yeah, I mean, I just you could get other things and you could go in other directions. Like, I personally don't use that part of the bag that often. I use something like the XL or the Equinox Solid in that gap, just because I think the amount of overall hook is kind of similar. It's just with having the slightly weaker cover, I feel like I can use it for longer. So that's a direction you could go if you wanted to do something different.
mm,
You know, because I like for me, like the Absolute Power and the XL, I never felt like they hook that much differently, like overall hook in comparison to phase 2. I just felt like they got through the front a little cleaner. So, yeah, that's just something to consider.
yeah.
Every now and again, you do need a symmetrical ball, though.
Honey Badger Claw. There you go.
Ooh, is that the blue one?
Purple one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
God.
Yeah. Paul likes some.
Awful bowling balls.
Well, yeah. That just means he's a really good bowler. You can overcome some balls. So what are your thoughts as to how much a strong or weak layout affects how much hook a ball has in ball motion?
Um,
30%?
I think how much?
30 maybe?
20.
20? You're tweaking.
I think that it depends relatively as well. Like Stu uses quite very well / very weak layouts. So the difference between me going from what would be my box standard layout to a stronger layout is probably a bigger difference than for Chris, because he's more in the 5 range and I'm more in the 5.5, 5 3/4 range, just as a like just as a box standard type of layout. We obviously mess around with both. I'm just saying, like, I think you're kind of like 5 is kind of your like, I want to see what it does. Let's make changes off it.
Well,
Sort
I
of
used
thing.
to think it was 5.5. Turns out it was 5. So yeah,
Yeah.
maybe we'll fix that moving forward too.
So there is that also. For me, with the balls now, I think that the biggest change that a too strong of a layout has is the ball just doesn't really hook, because it just blows up so quickly.
Yeah, he says he's 250 rev rate. So what you're really doing, I feel like Stu has a high rev rate and a really high track, and so he's going to lean towards those pins that they give him the shapes that he wants, or covers up the things that he's not as good at.
Mm-hmm.
Tend to lean towards those, even though my rev rate's lower, my pin positions tend to be a little weaker than say Tommy's, because Tommy's has more axis rotation and throws it harder
And
and
wants to throw it harder.
wants to throw it hard. I'd rather adjust slower and make it roll more. So my drillings and ball choices tend to lean towards things that get down the lane, and then I'll make it pick up. Tommy would rather throw it harder, so he drills balls that are a little stronger, drills them stronger, and leans towards balls that get there, and then they're bangers. So
just one thing on this though, Mike, I think that you really should consider taking one of the stronger balls and drilling it with like a slightly weaker pin but a shorter buffer, because you'll put a little bit of the flare back in by having a shorter pin buffer, the pin a little bit higher. But I think that a lot of people with lower rev rates, when they have really strong pins, because they think that it's only speed dominant, what ends up happening is the ball doesn't become as responsive, so you don't see as much motion. So I maybe try having a weaker ball, and you might actually see a lot more motion out of it, just because it's not like, like hook and set, so to speak. So something to try anyway. Something maybe like a 5 by 4 3/4 by like 2, something like that on an asymmetrical ball. And I think you might see a little bit more pop down the lane. No, those two are both absolute sweethearts. The Level and the High Road Max. Yee. They were not my friends.
And change up the colors for a little Texas orange this weekend for you. Not a college football guy so much, so
Yeah. Texas are on a bye this weekend.
Right.
My current
Yeah.
sim is so that's what I'm saying. So you got the 20. So, maybe you could do like 60 by 5 by 20.
Yeah, 4.5's not super, super strong, really. I mean,
it depends which balls. If that's in like a big asymmetrical ball, like four and 5/8, like with the way the balls are now.
If you're 250 rev, right, if your speed's 16 on the monitor, probably not strong enough. If it's 12 on the monitor, probably not weak enough.
Yeah,
or probably too strong.
Like I say, I still think with the way the oils are, if you get much stronger than the 4.5-inch pins, you don't see much motion down the lane.
Okay.
But why?
Well, that's what it does anyway. So
my speed is 12.
Yeah.
So yes.
Yeah, you might want to end up. You might want to look at what Sue's talking about is
5 1/4.
Yeah. Bowling the Senior Masters Classic next week. What's each your favorite restaurants in Vegas? JJ is your guy. But
if you
bring your wallet.
I was about to say, if you want Korean cuisine, Simo's your guy.
True that. Actually,
there's obsessed by Korean barbecue.
He loves I mean the beef places. He loves wow. Can't think of the name.
You can't think of the place what it's called.
Oh no, I'm trying to think of the name of the place,
but yes.
Yeah.
Hello, Mr. Anthony.
Yep. Send Anthony a message on Facebook. He'll get back to you at some point.
Yeah. What is the use case on the Sunstorm? Well, funny you should say that. I actually registered the Sunstorm for the US Open a couple of years ago. It looked amazing on the 38-foot flat one until we started for real. And then I seem to remember I was 58 at the fifth. I got one right. She laid. I got one left. She peeled.
The red one was legit.
Oh dear. Well, this was
the red one.
They redid an anniversary version.
Yeah.
With a spec cover.
Yeah.
So I've got one hanging around somewhere that when I finally get it done and Brady doesn't want to destroy everything, I'm gonna have it on the shelf because it's a what's the best way? It brings back fond memories of the original, like when I was first starting. So I'm not saying I necessarily did any good with it, but we had one and it was cool and
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, the Hyperdrive Pro has been good. The Ion Solid's been good. And then last week, the Viking. It's the first week we've been able to throw it on Monday. And it was a shot 510 the last two, 520 the last two with it. So which any of the bowling on the blue oil, game 1 they've been pretty easy. Game 2 they've been like a different bowling center, and then you know, after enough different moves, game 3 hopefully you can recover. At least that's been our experience. So, but
The miss right lay, miss left
yeah,
field.
well, yeah. Try Guong.
Goong. It's Darren Ong's favorite restaurant. Go Ong. Sorry, Dan. I mentioned the arthritis issue just recently discovered my track has moved by more than an inch. Yikes. I suspect that's because I'm coming round the ball or bailing at the bottom of the swing, but the wrist doesn't hurt. Should I change the layouts to split the difference? Yes.
Yeah, unless this is a temporary issue. If this is just how you're going to throw it now, so that to reduce pain,
yeah,
then match your layouts up to it. And it just happens. Like Pete, for instance, has trigger finger, and so he has a basically looks like Sarge Easter.
Yeah,
and his track's gone from 6 inches and probably a half down to 4 3/4 and up. And so if he doesn't change them, his pins would be basically 2-inch pins. They would roll awful. So game 2 on the blue oil has me questioning ever picking up a ball again. Actually, they hook more in the front, they get tighter down lane, and the best move, I don't think it's a bad play, because I hear the same thing, whether it's Florida, here, Ohio, guys are kind of like, what are you? And for our group, the guy who's having the most success game 2 is moving right, being straighter and being a little firmer. And then game 3, it's been actually what we talk about in the show is actually going to a stronger ball than what you started with. And it's a little lazier down lane, but you finally control the wet, dry, and all that. I mean, the one week I went to an Ion Max in game 3 to bail out a game. It's a little extreme, but that's where we're at. I did the walk of shame in league. I went out. I took balls out to the car for the 3rd game in league because I hadn't thrown a double in like 14 frames, and hadn't missed the pocket either. So they weren't. It's not like they were hard. It was just wrong. And so, yeah. So basically, I mean, for those that don't know, the Bolero Blue Oil is it's a lower viscosity. It's lower than ice. Prodigy range, I think it's the low 30s viscosity if you're into that whole thing, where ice is 41, fire is 45. I believe red is like low 50s, like control off the top of my head, like 51, 52. So, so it goes into this. Scores went up, playing tighter, and most are balling down instead of chasing left. Yeah, I think it tends. I think both of them look like it travels pretty fast. The red's going to hook sooner, so balling down makes a lot more sense. The blue seems to keep playing pretty tight. It just bleeds off in the front versus actually really hooking in the front, and so it just changes your entry angles and make it bad. So
Dan is back. Hey, Dan. Yeah, we got your question just as the stream had actually ended when we got your question. So we didn't ignore you. I'm glad you've come back and reminded us. Should the timing be different for someone that plants? I don't think so.
No, not really. I mean, at least I subscribe to the Baker's theory of kind of where, when your foot starts to get out in front of your head, that your ball should be perpendicular to the floor, moving down. So I don't think that really changes much. You obviously don't slide as far, and so the timing at your ankle where it is will be a little bit shorter. But yeah, I think in general, it's very similar. There's a lot of guys that have a version of plant these days. They slide so short. There's
Yeah.
not very many Jacobs in the world. There's way more EJs.
I mean, I guess that it's going to make you just automatically, if you're not sliding, it's going to make you automatically a little later if nothing else changes, right?
Yeah, because
So I'm just
fraction
putting
of
that
a
in
second, yeah.
perspective. It's like your timing is all relative. So when we're saying that we don't think you need to change timing, that's relative to where the foot is like complete, I guess, in comparison, like Chris is talking about. So that was the only thing.
Yeah, thanks for clearing that up.
So yeah.
Beef and Barnzy skirt. Is that a new product? I'll bet the Navy guys were asking you about that. I mean, yeah.
Chris is the worst. I would have I personally would have just skipped over that, but nope. Nope, my man Mars. He saw his chance and he was in there like swim. But yeah.
The 45-foot test pattern. Yeah, I mean they put it out in the South region of Columbia. I haven't bowled on it. I saw it. I talked to a couple of guys that did bowl on it, and it's kind of one of those deals. It's a little like the Masters version, the one where there's defined friction, but it's not really usable. It's like reverse out of bounds. It's if you touch it, you just go high. So it ends up being just a long pattern where you kind of keep the ball closer to the head pin, and once you do that, then it plays a little better. But it's easy to get sucked into seeing that friction over there and trying to use it somehow.
It says, or it didn't get you. That's more the problem.
I don't know what and who you're writing to that skirt is the autocorrect version, but we can go with that if it makes you feel better.
Hey Ian, I think the Vikings quite a bit stronger than the reality check, to be honest.
The reality strike? You think the Vikings stronger than the reality strike, huh?
Yeah, well, I think the reality strike was way further down the line. For me. I mean,
yeah.
I understand that it was that 2K fast. But still, it shined up so quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it'll be interesting. I'm gonna leave the polish on the Viking right now, but I may dust it just a little bit based on what Ryan said and see if it moves it into a stronger, because you guys are seeing it as quite a bit stronger than I am right now.
Yeah.
But again, I've only tested in one place and I have 4 gigs on. So, and you're just, big beef. 100%.
No, I was about to say it's more because you just throw it so much harder than I do.
Well,
Anderson, my arsenal right now is Reality, Origin EX, Equinox, Rockstar, Ion Pro, and IQ AI. Do you see any gaps or recommendations for stuff in the line? No, I think you've got a fairly decent spread. Depending on whether you're using that IQ AI a lot, you could maybe have something down there like a High Road 40 or something, that you could maybe hook a little more, cleaner and more motion down the lane. But overall, I mean, you got the Reality on the fresh, you got Origin EX on the fresh also type of deal, just a weaker version of it. I don't mind going from Reality straight to Equinox. I think that's okay. Maybe I guess the only spot that I could see is Equinox. You don't really have a responsive, like a quicker responsive ball underneath the Equinox.
Yeah, there's a few. Depending on what you're bowling on, I would say looking at this lineup, you have more wet dry that you're playing on than not. And most of the balls are pretty good on that, and they're steps off each other within controlling the wet dry. So as long as you're not bowling on stuff that's flat or really blended to where you need more pop. It's a pretty good. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Origin EX wasn't we didn't super love it, but once it shined up or lane shined a little bit, it ends up being a step below reality. But Equinox, you kind of got a ball in that range already. That might be the one spot to get something that's a little more. It's probably where we would put the Viking at, where Stu has the Viking at right now. So, hope you like it. Beef and Barnzy tidy whiteys.
We got. Oh, sorry.
Oh, there you go. Sorry, I missed it. Sorry, Jim.
Jim. Launch speed 17 miles an hour. 375 RPMs. So just a little less than, kind of tour entry, I guess.
Yeah.
400.
Used to be.
Like, yeah. 4.5 pin to pap. Hyperdrive Pearl, Rockstar Amped, and Hustle Glow. Where are my gaps for tournaments? I think
Amped and Hustle.
Yeah.
That's a pretty sizable.
Yeah.
And like you said, what Stu just talked about, whether it's High Road 40, whether it's Ion Solid, maybe
Ember,
Bebo, if you can find one. I mean, those.
Yeah, even something. Yeah, I mean, if I was doing this Arsenal, I would say it goes Hyperdrive, Rockstar, and then I'm sort of up in the air depending on how you see it between the Hyperdrive Pearl and the Rockstar Amped.
Right.
I think a lot of people would actually see it Hyperdrive, Rockstar Amped, Hyperdrive Pearl. So then you're going from Hyperdrive Pearl all the way down to the Hustle Glow. So yeah,
that's where your gap is.
And that's a gigantic
in today's world. It's a little bigger than you would probably like. Yeah. And so those 3 balls right off the top would give you would give you some bridges.
I mean, even an original high road wouldn't be terrible either.
Yeah, these days that being that. It's been a long time. I don't know if I'm trying to think I even draw the regular high road.
I feel like I've seen you throw one, but just not very much. I feel like it's one of those balls that you were like, wasn't really missing out on much.
Yeah, by the time I threw it, it was like it wasn't the thing that there's too much oil now or whatever. I missed out on the entire 14-year window of awesomeness. And
like when Duke was winning 3 majors in a row using.
Like this ball's why is somebody throwing a 257 ball on Cheetah? And it does the right thing. That makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It took me a while to get you into the let's look at covers first and cores second.
Yeah. That one I was with companies where
it was definitely cores first.
Pretty meh. And so cores were the only thing that really separated them. All right, Joseph. If you had the same ability to throw with one as well as with 2 hands, would you eliminate one, keep both games, mix and match, depending on national, senior, and even league? 400 rev rate on 1, 490 on 2. It's a good question. It's a lot of management. If you're going to keep both, you're going to have to practice a lot. I think in a best case scenario, if I could manage it well, I would first balls with 2 hands, spares with 1. I would keep 1 in the bag, even though it's been so long since we bowl in any patterns where it's been any advantage. If I could bowl the same, I would bowl 2 hands. I would take the higher rev rate right now.
Yeah.
And the lower rev rate would just be you keep it in the bag. That would be what I'd use on house shots, maybe.
I don't even think this is a question, to be honest. I think the thing is like a better question would be, Chris, if you had the ability to throw as well as you do one-handed, but 75% of the ability to throw it two-handed, but you had the 490 rub rate. Which would you take? I think that's more of the thing, because
in today's world right now, it'd probably be two-handed.
Because like there is no way that Darren throws as many good shots two-handed as he did one-handed.
Right.
He's
a great bowler one-handed.
It's just so much easier for him to bowl. He has so much more room two-handed. Like yeah. So that's the rub for me. And the thing is two of the better spare shooters on tour both bowled spares two-handed also. So I don't think that two-handed Kyle Troop's a fairly decent spare shooter also.
Yeah.
I don't think
Simo's one of the better spare shooters, right?
Well, Belmo's pretty good also, like over time. Like,
I don't put him in Frankie or Dom or you. I don't put him in
I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is it's amazing how a bunch of the two-handers are absolutely atrocious.
Yeah.
And it's like there's no excuse for being that bad.
As the game has gotten more and more powerful, what passes for average as a PBA Tour spare shooter has gone down. There are people, the Walter and Norms rolled over in their grave when you said two of the better spare shooters on tour were Belmo and
Simo,
I think. But even
Simo's, like, his percentages based on just raw percentages are as good as Walter Ray ever was. Like, on the total percentages, like, he just doesn't leave much shit. Yeah. Like, so I mean, because he was at like 94 or 95% for overall.
Simo's got touch. He actually, and he's. Yeah. But yeah,
ironically, his
one-handed or two-handed spare shooting has gotten worse as the power has gone up.
I mean, bad spare shooters are really bad now.
Yeah, the lanes. There's a lot of things that contribute to it, but yeah,
I'm just looking at the numbers. I mean, like Santu wasn't even 90% on single pins. I mean, like, how is that even fucking possible?
Yeah.
Like I mean that's Chauncey Billups, like, match fixing bad.
Jesus.
I mean, like, Santu, I love you, but Fox, 89% or whatever it was you were. Like, god damn.
That's Shaq free throw, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's unbelievable. I mean, like, I like giving it
9 out of 10 is pretty good by the rest of the world. 9 out of 10 would be pretty good, but tour percentages should be 97, 98%.
I mean, 95. The only thing is when you say 9 out of 10 is good, on an average night, people probably leave 15 single pins. So they've been missing like close to a couple a week.
Yeah, I don't think people leave that many, but maybe they do.
Yeah.
When you can't hook at them too,
yeah,
you're hooking at 4 pins in league.
Santu's interpreter makes his bets. Shout out to Shohei.
All right. Dan Knowlton wants to know, thinking of getting rid of my Nokia 5165. Can you recommend a good phone?
Yeah, I think Sony have a phone.
Sony? BlackBerry's an upgrade, so yeah. Do you like the Rockstar or Phase 2 better for ice oil?
Oh,
loaded question.
I don't know.
On ice, I like the Rockstar.
Yeah, I was about to say I don't know because I don't pay that much attention to the oil.
But on a few of the other oils, especially anything that runs a little bit thicker viscosity wise, I think the Phase 2 is still the test of time.
Yeah,
oils don't really matter. It rolls like it rolls, no matter what you see. So
Billups match fixing bad. Yep, exactly.
Yeah, we'll have to splice that one out there. Mark it.
Oh dear. Did you hear Pat McAfee have a go at that? He dug in pretty good on that.
Oh, he took a shot on College Game Day or something, right?
Yeah.
I just saw the clip. Yeah, I was
Yeah, it was
like,
very
whoa.
funny.
That's
Here's the cheat code for it. You just apply logic. So if you're bowling halfway through game 2 and your ion max feels like it has stopped hooking, then it's probably burning up. Like if you're in game 1, like when you first get there and you throw a few shots and it feels like it's hooking, it might be that you need to refresh the surface. The way to 100% tell when you're not sure if the ball's burning up or not is to throw the cleaner ball for your first change. And if the cleaner ball hooks more, you know the ball's burning up. Even if it's not the right ball, you know that it's burning up. If you go to the stronger ball, you might just end up constantly going through all of your stronger balls and still not have anything hook.
This is a little bit why the lineup system thing where you use the stronger ball early, it plays into that because it helps you determine if you're not good at seeing it, you're not good at you leave a bucket. I mean, the balls with more colors in them and the swirls, pay attention to when the swirls start spinning faster. And if it's before the 25-foot mark, then your ball's probably burning up. You should be skidding it through 20 feet easily, 25, before you start seeing it really start to gain traction and start to change rotation.
Yeah, and if it's 30, 35, 40.
Right. No, and I mean, most people would rather see it much later than that. And so, but I'm saying that on the early end. So.
No, I'm just joking. Like the king of the 2-pin is here. Oh shit! A whole World Series where here's your top 10 leaves, 6 of them involve the 2-pin. Do you think you have a problem? Yes. Oh shit!
Do you think Texas is the best bowling place to live? As far as having a lot of tournaments nearly every weekend, feels like it's either there or the Midwest. What do you call in the Midwest? Ohio, Michigan, like Chicago? I don't know. I haven't heard. I would have thought for a long time it was the Northeast, but I can't recall a good tournament we're traveling to in a long time up there. Now, to be fair, there's not a lot of really big tournaments anywhere. Like say 10K or more.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Denny Memorial tournaments next weekend, not this weekend, but the one after, 10K in Oklahoma City. Sign up for that. But yeah, I feel like it has to be in contention. I mean, there's a senior organization. There's some women's tournaments, not nearly as many as they would like to see, but I don't hear of any anywhere else. You have a couple of tournament clubs that play. You have some NABI, some ABT, your handicap things that are around for the middle level to bowl a lot.
I was about to say the only thing I would run up on this is I think that it's Texas and Oklahoma.
Yeah, I think we travel through there a little bit.
Because I think that Oklahoma has a lot of tournaments, especially a lot of tournaments they don't necessarily have a ton of like the highest level bowlers. Like they have a lot of like guys who are like, is there anybody who bowls on tour who's from Oklahoma? But they have a ton of tournaments. Like the Dallas guys are going up to Oklahoma all the time.
Yeah, the Dallas guys actually travel Oklahoma before they go down to Houston, San Antonio.
Exactly. And then on top of that,
to be fair, but the better tournaments, there are a lot of good tournaments in Oklahoma, and they have to draw from Dallas to make them work.
And like Arkansas is actually starting to have a few pretty good tournaments also.
True.
So I think that being in Dallas is a good spot for being able to go to. The only downside of Dallas is the journey to Houston.
It's more of a pain to get to San Antonio than it is Houston, but
yeah, but there isn't really much to bowl in San Antonio that you would necessarily want to sit in the car for.
Not anymore.
A couple of hours. Like for me, it's perfect because it's an hour and a half.
Right.
Shit, it's almost an hour and a half for you to go to Plano. It feels like sometimes. And like for me, being in Austin is like I don't have any tournaments that are 15 minutes away, but I have way more tournament options that are less than 3 hours away than most people.
Mm-hmm.
Because I can go to San Antonio, I can go to Dallas, or I could go to a large part of Houston in basically 3 hours.
I would think that's kind of what it feels like to be in Indy or Detroit. Like you're 4 hours from 5 major areas.
Yes.
That are good bowling areas. So
Yeah,
I have to assume that's pretty good.
Because Columbus, how far is Columbus to Indy?
I think it's the same. I think it's in that in that 3 to 4 hours thing. But yeah, Nabby is still around. It's we just don't bowl it. So but Terry Taylor runs Nabby. It does very well around here. So
like I say, there's lots of places that have arguments, I think, for being in those conversations. I think that we're very lucky in Texas that we have at least a few sole proprietors left. Not chain centers.
Yeah, the one basically places that still crave and look for leagues and tournaments, and
well, we have like
they're willing to take the guaranteed income for the weekend over the potential increased revenue of open play.
I mean, like you got Vito, you got Jamie Brooks, you've got Butch Warren, like people who are like really good bowlers who, and forgive me, the Ellis family, like have the in Houston. So like,
great call.
If you think about all of the people who, all of the major tournaments in Texas that aren't regionals, they're pretty much held at those guys' centers. Like,
I think this is a good one to finish on here. One ball tourney on a house shot. What do you bring? This is always an interesting question because we're so used to 5 and 6 balls, and it makes me really decide what ball I actually really like. Yeah. And sometimes I'm disappointed because I don't know.
I've actually bowled more 1-ball tournaments than Chris has in recent times because Khalil has a 1-ball thing going on.
Thing, right? They're doing it on a somewhat regular basis.
The 3 or 4 times that I've bowled it, I've used the absolute at least a couple of times.
Wow.
And I think the last time I took the absolute and it wasn't quite strong enough and I used an origin. But for me, if I was doing a 1-ball tournament on a house shot, I would use a shiny asymmetrical ball. So that could be an Equinox. It could be the Viking, the Origin. Like that would be the direction I would go.
Yeah. Forever I would be decades. I would have been on the phase 2 Zen,
Yeah.
Zen would have been the answer for a long time. And I think it probably could have been an answer for a lot of people, but it is no longer. And so, what would it be?
This makes me laugh, actually. The only reason why I'm saying that it makes me laugh is I remember, I think it was Bowler's Mart. We were driving along and they'd put up a thing that said, "What's the best pearl ball of all time?" And I was driving with Dom. And like I was thinking about it like a pearl reactive ball. And Dom goes, "How is this even a question? It's the purple hammer. It's not even close." And I was like, "That's not a pearl." And he goes, "Literally purple pearl."
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like,
one more tick in my box of the reason why a pearl doesn't matter.
Yeah. But I was like,
360 on it, it hooks like a solid.
But I said to Dom, I was like, that isn't really like what they meant, though, is he? Goes, it fucking literally says pearl. It doesn't say pearl reactive. And I was like,
yeah, and that might be it. The Ion Pro Solid might be my one right now.
Yeah.
Hyperdrive Pearl is probably my. I got a little bit of surface knocked off of it, but that might be. Those two have been my.
It's kind of worked
everywhere lately. Yeah.
Like they say, that one made the conversation.
it's always those two are always kind of centered around the bag. So, all right, well, we'll come back Tuesday, and I'm sure with riveting
Yeah,
ideas and guests.
we might actually plan a show rather than having you guys plan the show for us. So thanks for that today. Appreciate you guys helping out. Oh shit.
I'll bowl the regional on strings this weekend, so this will be, I guess, the second tournament I bowled on these. This is the final RPI tournament of the Southwest, so I'll get the chance to watch some. The other one I bowled was the senior one, so I didn't really get a chance to watch the two-handed effect and see.
Mm-hmm.
We'll find out next week. Was Stu full of shit or not?
Oh, well, the answer to that is always yes.
It's just, well, perhaps, but
we should start the the Colin Cowherd, where Colin was right, where Colin was wrong, where Stu was right and Stu was wrong.
I will do my best to get some footage and try and supply Roddy with something to put our video together with, but we'll see what happens. But hey, between now and then, please support the sponsors. Support us: Storm, Rotogrip, Niner Global, Coolwick, Bowler's Mark, Fire Lake Bowling Center, Lightning Strikes, and of course Platinum 4. Till next time, stay safe, stay healthy. God bless.
See you later.